Okay, we are recording. If you could say your full name for me as it is on your birth certificate.
It's Aruj Aisha Sayed.
Okay, and do you have any nicknames?
Yes, I go by Angel.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 22.
Where did you grow up? And where were you born?
I grew up in a really small town about east from out here, very east Texas. It's called Gladewater, Texas. And I was born in Houston, Texas.
Okay, where are your parents from originally?
My mom's Indian and my dad's Middle Eastern.
Okay, were they born here or in the Middle East and Eastern, Western Asia?
They were born back home.
Okay, very good. What was it like growing up for you in East Texas?
It was extremely interesting. I grew up in a dynamic where it was a really small town, so everyone knew each other, everyone grew up together, their sisters, their parents, everyone knew each other. So, you know, smack dab in the middle of a small country, we're the only family that was really so different and everyone knew it. So it was interesting. I always kind of spent my life trying to fit in.
Okay. How old were you when you first noticed the concept of race?
I would say about 6th grade. Middle school, kind of when puberty starts to hit you a little bit, when you really kind of get out in social gatherings and out in school and you notice how people kind of grew off.
Okay. Were there people in your town in which you could relate to ethnically or racially?
Not really, no.
No? Were there any like celebrities that you felt that you could draw from, or?
Not really. I mean, when I was younger, I was very strongly influenced by my parents, and they really just watched a lot of Bollywood movies growing up. That's why I don't, if you know me, you know I'm not very, detailed as far as movies and music are concerned. I always don't know what's going on as far as classics and American culture is concerned, because I did grow up with my parents influencing me, so I was always surrounded by the very Bollywood type of thing. And, in Bollywood, there was no concept of race because everyone was the same race.
Okay. When's the first time that you really felt that you were ostracized due to your race?
I always kind of felt it, to be honest with you. Like, I always knew I was different, and I always felt like there was a boundary. Like, I could only go so far as making friends or talking to people or going a certain way because I was so different. And people noticed. They always noticed. There was always whispers, and there was always like, she smells weird, or she looks weird, or she's different. Everyone knew, especially the children, because children are ruthless. They don't stop themselves from saying anything. So it was always very, very evident.
This negative attention, was it from your peers, or was it from adults, or was it really from everybody?
Everyone, really.
What was it like for you post 9/11 being a brown girl and being someone who is Muslim?
It was terrifying. It was bad, especially because going out, like, of course I tried to fit in, and I would wear jeans and t-shirts, but my mom, she didn't really care. She went out in her traditional outfits, and especially after 9/11, just something as simple as walking out of Walmart made me uncomfortable because people would stare and they'd whisper and they'd pass comments and do all these things. And while my mom pretended like she didn't care and she wanted to be strong for everyone, I always took notice. I always looked and watched, and I was so ashamed going anywhere with her. I mean, I fought with my mom. I was like, Mom, why can't you just try to fit in? Why can't you wear jeans and t-shirts so people don't look at us weird? But I mean, I'm sure people still would, because we would never fit in because of the color of our skin. But as a child, that's all I could do is argue with her about what she wore, because it scared me.
Okay. So you are Muslim, correct? Was there a mosque that you all would go to for worship back home, or was it just sort of like an in-house thing, or?
It was more like in-house. Like, people would have mosque in like their apartments, like where everyone would meet and pray and stuff. Just because we did have a mosque, but it was about 45 minutes to an hour away at the time, and even then it was not very flourishing. Not a lot of people were a part of it. So it was more like my parents and their family friends kind of getting together at one person's house, or like a larger, maybe like a banquet hall, and just praying. Especially during Ramadan and Eid. Other than that, it was just mostly people's apartments.
Did you have any extended family in your hometown?
Not in my hometown.
Okay. What do you think is more damning to minorities, race or religion?
Race.
Why?
Because it's more obviously perceived. People can pick up on it much easier than you can religion.
Okay. If you could choose to be one race other than your own, what would you be and why?
That's a really difficult question. I want to be diplomatic and say that I wouldn't want to change my race just because it has made me who I am, and I, appreciate the person I am, and I've come to terms with it now that I'm older. I can't say that being white wouldn't be easier. It would have been easier growing up for sure, especially where I was, so maybe white.
Here in in America, you know, we're supposed to be, you know, the best country in the world and the most advanced for so many different reasons. And, you know, we've come a long way in terms of, you know, civil rights and gender equality and all these sorts of things. But why do you think race is sort of the reoccurring issue that won't seem to go away?
I don't think it'll ever go away. I mean, people are really ignorant. They try to say that race is, you know, it's diminishing and, you know, racism doesn't exist in today's society. And I would think those people are stupid. Like, you're ignorant and you're closing your eyes to what's very, very